Jason, you know, the sort of keep it simple bull case for FANG and FANG-type stocks for so long was they were so dominant. They were almost these inevitable monopolies in their segment. The network effects just worked so well for them. And I just wonder right now if the market is just rethinking whether that dominance is now going to make them targets, obviously already is on some level with Facebook, or is this just kind of a basic shakeout, a little valuation adjustment in some of these stocks?
Yeah, so the PE for Facebook isn't that high. Kevin's correct there. But what Kevin doesn't realize is people don't want to work at Facebook anymore, and that's going to be a huge problem here for their future. And the regulations are going to start impacting their bottom line in the ad networks, and they're not going to be able to do M&A transactions the way they've done in the past with such ease, buying Instagram and WhatsApp. So Kevin's wrong about Facebook. On the Tesla front, he loves the product, as everybody who loves Tesla products does, and they can't shut up about them because they are the greatest cars on the road. Now, Elon's been a little bit late getting every car to the road. He's always a couple of months late. Model 3 has been a little bit challenging, but we always say here in Silicon Valley, it's better to be late and great than be on time and subprime. So the product, the Model 3, which I drive every day on self-driving, is extraordinary. And so Tesla's going to come roaring back. It obviously is a fully priced stock, and NVIDIA is wildly, fully priced. So Kevin's right that the PEs can get a little out of whack, and you have to look at each individual name. And if you look at NVIDIA, wow, they're going to really get their butts kicked over the next couple of months because cryptocurrency has lost 2/3 of its value, and nobody wants to buy crypto anymore. And that was a big part of NVIDIA's story. Self-driving, obviously, is going to take a little bit of a pause as we adjust and investigate some of these crashes. That's not good for them. And so NVIDIA's got some big challenges. Also, VR was going to be their big push, and nobody's buying VR goggles. Nobody cares about VR, and that's dead on arrival for the 5th time probably. So NVIDIA's in trouble for sure.
Kevin, you mentioned energy, which I don't know if it's your roots there, but is it a sector where, listen, the oil price has been going up, but is it for the right reasons, quote unquote? I mean, it started a little bit when, Trump brought John Bolton into his cabinet, and some concerns about if there's a flare-up, geopolitically speaking. So I don't know. I mean, and if you were to put market timing aside, is this a space that you'd feel comfortable being for a long time?
I think so, because it's not about constraint of flow anymore. The Saudis want to work with the Russians, but none of that stuff is mattering. It's actual use, and demand is increasing slowly as GDP growth continues in the Asian markets at north of 5%. And even though we are producing a ton of oil now, it's still not satisfying demand on a global basis. So my premise is, and I'm going to bet with my dollars, which is always you're putting money in harm's way, but I'm putting it into balance sheets that are producing a lot of cash right now with the price of oil where it is and paying me dividends north of 4%. I think I'm okay to wait there. And I want to fight back a little bit on Facebook management and the number and the quality of people. I do a lot of work with Facebook across all my portfolio companies. They're the best managed company in social media. They're miles ahead of everybody else. Nobody's running out the door. This is just a bunch of hype.
Incorrect.
There's no
last word,
incorrect.
Jason.
People don't want to go work there now. You don't want to go to work, especially liberal tech people do not want to go to work for a place where Peter Thiel's on the board and Palantir and Cambridge Analytica are all involved in some sort of grand conspiracy to put Trump in. It's very ugly for Facebook, and young people are not going to want to go work.
What does Trump have to do with Facebook? Where are you going with that?
A lot.
What does Trump have to do with Facebook?
A lot, because what happened was they took these profiles and they targeted people in swing states with ads that were racist and that were sexist and that were anti-Hillary. And you can be sure that people here in California on the coast do not want to work for a company that they feel is going to swing the country in this very negative, divisive place.
Jason, just to be clear, you're saying people think Facebook is too right-wing? Jason, you're saying people in the Valley think Facebook is right-wing?
No. It's not right-wing. They're all pro-Hillary. They were all donating to Hillary. The problem is the company
what does politics have to do with this? Who cares, Hillary?
I'll tell you what it has to do with it. Let me explain to you, Kevin. When you go to a party in Silicon Valley and you say, I work for Facebook, you know what they tell you? Everybody looks and goes, I'm sorry you work at Facebook. What a terrible place to work. People don't want to work at that company. That's the truth.
By the way,
No, they
even if that's
love
true,
Facebook.
Jason, one point which I think Strategas
Wrong.
makes well is you can compare Facebook, I know they're not going to like this, to an Altria, okay, after the regulatory hammer came down on the cigarette space, and look how well those investments did, including under administrations like the Obama administration, which you'd think would be
but thanks
unfriendly to them.
Thank you for making my
if
point. Who
Facebook
wants to go
gets
work for a cigarette
regulated-
company? You want to work for a cigarette company? No.
Look at the
If
returns, is
Facebook
my
gets
point.
regulated, the barriers to entry are so high that there will be no competition. That would be the worst thing to do. No one can afford the compliance, and that will actually make Facebook even a stronger company.
Yeah.
In that
All right,
case,
guys.
Kevin's right. They will make Facebook stronger because there'll be no other options. So in the short term, Facebook's going to go down. In the long term, it's going to go up.
All right, guys, thank you. It took an interesting turn. Kevin O'Leary and Jason Calacanis there helping us dig through the wreck of the day. Facebook was down 5%. It was one of the worst performers. Financials were second worst, though, in terms of sectors. Whether there's more pain ahead,